Right, welcome to Mental Load Month. I'm chatting with Denise Drinkwalter. Denise, tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll tackle possibly one of my most favourite subjects.
I love it. Hi, I'm Denise Drinkwalter, and I'm an empowerment life coach, and I work with women in their midlife years. And one of the primary things that we work on in our roles together with my clients is working through the transitioning role of mom with adult children, because there's a complexity behind the scene that can take over our worlds, and we help wade through that and come out the other side cleaner, fresher, and more engaged with who we are as women. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Right, mental load. So I feel like I should maybe just explain what I mean by mental load. It's that taking on board everything around you. So having the mental to-do list, remembering that you saw that some socks needed sorting out, remembering that the dog needs to go to the vet. It's all of that, isn't it? And obviously, as women, we tend to take on the lion's share of that. So how do we manage it? How do we start to kind of offload it as our brains in menopause are going, I can't, there's no more space.
Yeah. So so many things. One thing that I think is really important is the tools that we have available to us these days. It's incredible the power that we have in our hands with our technology and our phones. So all that to-do list stuff, see if you can't use that tool more effectively for yourself. So organize your to-do lists and start your day not with a to-do list. Start your day with your own self, 5 minutes of being with you without anything else. I do that before I get out of bed so that I start my day on the right foot. So I spend 20 minutes, but you can spend 3 minutes. Doesn't have to be long. Just do a quiet, get yourself ready for the day. Not thinking about the day, but as you wake up, I use a meditation app, and I just start my day with a nice morning meditation so that I'm in the right headspace. Because if you wake up starting to think of everything you're going to do, that adds to stress, right? Start your day differently. We know we carry all the balls. Do we need to carry all the balls? Tough question.
Yeah.
Tough question, right? So that's something I want you to think about. If you're feeling like you're carrying all the balls too much, too often, and it's becoming too much of a strain, is there something that's in your portfolio, let's say, that can be carried by somebody else, even for a day, even for a meal, right? Do you have to do everything? Maybe your children, maybe your significant other, maybe your spouse would love to have an opportunity to work beside you in the kitchen tonight for supper. Have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, I'd invite you to think about that. We tend to have that super cape because, again, society says we can do it all. And so we prove that we can do it all. And then we don't know where the line is. And that just becomes a huge stressor for us, right? Yeah. So I would say start with the phone and see what you can, use that as a positive tool for yourself.
And exactly with the phone, what's brilliant with this, obviously, we can have apps and whatever on the phone. And for things like, let's say you've got teenage kids and you've got a partner or husband, whatever, wife, whoever. And if you feel like you're constantly the one who's noticing that you're running out of stuff or whatever, get a shopping app that all of you have access to. I mean, it seems so simple, doesn't it? But then it becomes everybody else's responsibility, and it's not your fault if the toothpaste doesn't turn up or whatever,
Yeah. And here's the other thing. If they come at you, where's the toothpaste? And you say, I don't know, where is the toothpaste, right? Oh, okay, what can we do about that? Well, we need to make a list. Perfect. Can you get started on that? I got some other thoughts. Let's do this together, right? You can pull it into a group thing instead of you running out to the store that instant to get the toothpaste. Think about, oh boy, this is a big one, isn't it?
I know.
We can think about whose urgent is it? Their urgent does not have to be our urgent. Okay, so that's something I want you to kind of ponder as things come into your, vision. This is urgent because Susie said she needed it now. And it's like, wait a minute, is she gonna really die because there's no toothpaste? Oh, there is toothpaste upstairs, remember? Right? So think through the bigger picture. And if it's not your urgent, it could be their urgent. Listen to them and say, okay, so what can we do about that? We, not me. And then have them involved in the solution.
Absolutely. And I think the flip side of that is that a lot of us, as we kind of get to this phase, and we, for lots of reasons, have had to be all things to all people for many years. And now we're basically teenagers again, and we just want to tell the world to get lost. And frankly, we're done with this. And that can translate to nagging. I'm putting it in inverted commas because I hate the word. But actually, as you said, if we can say, how can we solve this? It's not, you need to hoover, you need to do that. Why haven't you done this? Why is that there? It's just, okay, how are we going to do this? We all live in this house together. So how are we going to make it a better place?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a huge, and that goes into the communication piece, right? And that goes into when you are feeling overstressed and overwhelmed, how do you handle that so that when you do share what's going on, it doesn't come across in a negative way and elevate the whole situation, right? So think about what is going on, where's the mental load happening, what can you do about your mental load, and where can others support that process so that your mental load doesn't have to be carried as hard and heavy as it is right now. So what other avenues can be explored in that? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. It's basically about becoming a team, isn't it, really?
Ultimately, in order to make it run smoother and for you to be able to continue to do what you do best, which is your roles, right? Which also is about self-care, right? So yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody lives together, so everybody has a part to play. And if it's brand new, then it'll look different to start that process than if it were something that has been in place for a while. So yeah, every situation will definitely be different, but just understand where your mental load is, what you get to control, and how you get to pace it out. And then they will be a part of that process as you invite them in to be, right? And it's okay. That's another thing I find with the women that I work with. It's almost like they feel it's an invasion on asking other people to support. It's like, it's incredible what they find out when I ask. They're all like, oh my gosh, I would love to. Are you okay if I do that? Like, I thought you wanted to do that, right? So the messaging can be very different. So yeah, some things to work through with that. Yeah.
And I think actually at this point, before we wrap up, it's worth saying that we both give permission to everybody watching this to offload things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you.